Hello, my lovely rose garden. Apparently, the last half hour or so of us doing this got cut off from the stream last night. So we're back to do the rest of it. We were just going to record it and upload it as a video, but then it wouldn't be together in the live tab with the other one, and I can't have that.
Can't abide
So
that.
so we're gonna stream the last little bit that got cut off. And yeah, I hope everyone has a good time.
Okay, so where we left off, Juliet was chilling there, uh, with her poison that she just got from the friar, and she was gonna, you know, fake kill herself, and Tipple's ghost showed up and was all like, "Ayo,"
And we just ignored that.
and we just ignored that. Anyway, all right, so 474. You ignore the ghost and instead think of your husband, considering your vial of mysterious liquid. You raise your drink out in front of you. Romeo, 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 you whisper. Here's drink, I drink to thee. Then you lower the vial to your lips. Bottoms up, boys, you say, quickly chugging the contents of the vial. You fall into bed. Before you know it, you're in a deep slumber, and you begin to dream. Hey, good news! Ever since you were a child, your dreams have taken the form of an adventure is chosen by you book. For your entire life, every time you've gotten really tired and finally fallen asleep, it's like you had to read a book instead. What a treat! The only catch is this drug you took from Friar Lawrence is kind of unstable and kind of insanely dangerous, so you run real risk of dying right now. Your subconscious mind is trying to process what's happening to you via this dream book drug parables whatever. But if you fail in it, you'll die. Got that, Juliet? Die in the dream, die in real life. On the other hand, getting through this dream alive may be the only way to keep your body going. And then it says, one of them's all like, oh, cool, all right, let the dreaming begin. But no, we're going to go with, nah, man, dreams are boring and stupid. Can I be Romeo now? Turn to page 464.
Yeah, there's like you can do other Shakespeare plays as like side quests, but we're not doing any of that.
We ain't gonna do none of that.
We're just doing vanilla Romeo and Juliet. So, okay. Come on, I wrote out a whole book of your dreams and you want to be Romeo instead? Well, guess what? You know what Romeo's doing right now? Sitting around in a library about to read a book that mirrors your very dream. Hey, are you tripping all possible balls right now? Because you should be. So, anyway, now you're Romeo. In your hands is a book. And though you, Romeo, have only skimmed the first few pages and thus have only the roughest idea of what it holds, I'll tell you right now. Inside these pages is a story that mirrors the dream of your lady love Juliet perfectly. Should you choose to read it, then for perhaps the first time in history, two souls will share the exact same vision in the exact same medium in two different states of consciousness. It will be a thing of beauty, of indescribable perfection. Okay, cool. You said I'm Romeo now, so Romeo wants to stop looking at this book and start looking around the room he's in. 292. Oh, skipped it. There you go.
All right. 292. You put down the book you've been reading and or skimming and place it back on the Mantuan library shelf. That's enough reading for one day, you announce happily. As you leave the library, you glance at the page-a-day calendar on the circulation desk and realize you've been there reading for several days. Dang, Romeo, you really need to learn how to read faster. But it's good. But the good news is that there's not much else to do in Mantua, so it's not like you wasted time you might have spent doing anything else. You make your way back to your room and have a nap. You wake up refreshed several hours later and stretch your arms out in bed. If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, you say, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. And by that I mean I totally just dreamed some good news is on its way, and dreams are never wrong and really important. As you lie in bed talking to yourself, there's a knock at the door. It's open, you say. The door opens, and in steps your servant Balthazar. You have a servant. Did you know that? You didn't, huh? No worries. I forgot about him, too. He was supposed to be with you this entire time. What the heck, Balthazar? Balthazar, what the heck? You say. Where have you been? Balthazar shrugs. Around, he says. I got into a street fight, did you hear? You reply, sitting up in bed. Wow, I sure could have used some help in that open-air sword fight to the death. If only my father paid for someone to stay close to me and attend my every need, right? Balthazar shrugs again. He doesn't pay me very much, he says. Why are you here? You ask as you get out of bed. Do you have news from Verona? Maybe a letter from the friar? How's Juliet? How's my dad? Hey, how's Juliet? I'm asking about Juliet twice because nothing can be wrong if she's well. Then she's well and nothing's wrong, Balthazar says. Phew, you say. Oh, and by that I mean her body sleeps in the Capulet's crypt and her immortal soul lives with the angels. Your mouth drops open. Juliet's dead? Sorry for the bad news. I mean, this is just a summer job for me, and I'm just a high school student. I don't know how to tell people bad things yet, he says. Are you serious, you say, trying to keep calm? Balthazar nods. Fall to your knees and shout to the heavens. 332.
Oh, that's hella short. I'm going twice.
Yeah.
You drop to your knees and raise your fists to the heavens. I defy you, stars, you shout. Balthazar regards you evenly. I'm going to 314. You stand in front of your mirror, looking as dramatic as you can. I'm going to Verona, you say to your reflection, right now. You'll need some supplies, Balthazar says over your shoulder. You turn. Well, then get me some supplies, you order. I'm gonna need ink and paper to write my Gone to Verona note, a torch, a pickaxe, a crowbar, some horses, and, oh, I guess some snacks and water. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Balthazar says. I'll need until tonight to get that together. Make it so, you say, and Balthazar leaves your room, closing the door behind him. You turn back to your mirror. I'm going to Verona, you say to your reflection. Once the sun sets, several hours from now. You pause. You know, you say to yourself, if Juliet really is dead, I'm thinking, probably I'll want to kill myself. And I bet I could get some poison from that gross old pharmacy I passed a few days ago. You burst out of your room and run over to the pharmacy, but it's closed. It's a holiday. You kick your way in anyway. Pharmacist, you shout. What ho, pharmacist? What? Who's shouting so loud? We're closed, says the pharmacist as he emerges from the back room. You walk up to the owner of the business you've just broken into and put your arm around his shoulders like your old friends. Listen, you say. You're obviously poor. Here's 40 ducats. Give me some poison, okay? What? Says the pharmacist. Poison, you say. You speak loudly and slowly. I want some poison. I don't, the pharmacist begins. How is this not clear, you say, squeezing him towards you. Me like the juice that make me dead. Why are you talking to me like that? The pharmacist says. Holy crap, you say. Look, let me have a dram of poison, okay? You know what I'm talking about? Such soon-speeding gear as will disperse itself through all the veins that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty powder fire doth hurry from the cannon's womb? Oh, why didn't you say so? Says the man, smiling. I'll let you in on a little pharmacist's secret. Killing people with chemicals is actually way easier than keeping people alive with chemicals. Poison's not a problem. Only the penalty for selling poison is death. You keep your arm around the pharmacist and smile at him. Buddy, you say, look at yourself. The pharmacist glances down, then back to you. You're dirt poor. You say in a way that I am struggling not to call obnoxious. But you're still afraid to die? How much worse could it be? Famine is in thy cheeks, bro. That doesn't mean I'll do whatever you say, he replies. Anyone can see you're a beggar, you say. The world is not your friend, and the law isn't either. There's no law that says you're going to be rich, right? I guess that's right, he says. Then screw the law, you say. You hold out a fistful of cash. Here, take this.
Verona bucks.
Verona bucks. Take this, break the law, and stop being poor already. Stop being poor and start being a horse. Loser, you say. The pharmacist looks at the money doubtfully. If I take this, it's my poverty taking the money, not me, he says. You place the money into his hand. Okay, sure, this is me paying your poverty. Can I die now, please? The pharmacist goes behind his desk and mixes several liquids together. He stirs it, sniffs it, and then looks up to you. How strong are you? He says. I'd say I have the strength of about one man, you say. I have one man's worth of strength? Perfect, he says, pouring the mixture into a black bottle with a skull and crossbones on it. This will instantly take down someone with the strength of 20 men, so you'll definitely be 100% super dead guaranteed. You take the poison. Thanks, you say. Hey, by the way, that money I gave you is a way worse poison to men's souls and does way more murder in this loathsome world than this poor compound that you may or may not sell. You put a few more coins into his hand. So really, you say, I'm the one giving you poison. The pharmacist looks at the money in his hand. I'm going to use this to buy food and clothing for my children, he says. You're already leaving the pharmacy, ready for Verona, because now if anything goes wrong, you can kill yourself. Go back to the hotel and wait for Balthazar, 329.
You sit in your bed quietly, which is itself its own form of adventure. Several hours later, Balthazar returns with the supplies you asked for, including 2 horses. I didn't ask for 2 horses, you say. Yes, you did, he says. You said horses, plural. I thought you wanted me to come with you. I'm not paying for that extra horse, you say. In fact, I rode a horse here, so I'll just take that one for free. So I guess you screwed up, and I don't need any horses after all. I already rented these horses, Balthazar replies, so we're riding them. Your dad will pay for them. Whatever, you say. You tear a piece of paper off the stack Balthazar brought and write, Attention, innkeep, I went back to Verona. Maybe my dad will pay for the hotel bill? XOXO, Romeo. You place the piece of paper on top of your unmade bed. Let's ride, you say. Ride to Verona. To Verona. Page number 347. Here we go.
On the way there, Balthazar is yammering on about boring stuff, so instead of listening, you break out your pen and paper and write a letter to your parents. It reads as follows. Dear Mom and Dad, if you are reading this, then I'm dead because I killed myself because my wife died. P.S. I secret married Juliet. P.P.S. Surprise, right? Maybe now you and the Capulets should stop fighting each other, huh? P.P.P.S. Seriously. P.P.P.P.S. Oh, also, I killed myself with some poison I bought from a poor pharmacist in Mantua. I think he's the only pharmacist there, actually. Anyway, the punishment for selling poison in Mantua is death, so, the mere fact that I'm telling you who sold it to me is a total dick move. P.P.P.P.P.S. Pretend I didn't write that last part, I guess? P.P.P.P.P.S. Okay, also, just so you know, Balthazar is supposed to be my servant, but hasn't been doing his job for, days. I think you should fire him. Romeo. You are extremely satisfied with your letter. You fold it up into your pocket and continue riding to Verona. Stop and pick some flowers for Juliet's grave?
Nah.
Man, it's not like she'll know. Plus, I'm in a rush. No flowers. We're choosing no flowers. 355.
As you disembark from your horse, you notice 2 things. First, someone else has been here recently, judging by the fresh flowers placed around the entrance to the Capulet crypt. And second, either the same someone or else, or some other someone else is now hiding in the bushes and whistling. You decide to ignore it. Probably they're just out and about for a little pre-midnight walk and whistle in the graveyard. All right, Balthazar, you say. Here's how this is going to go down. Give me the pickaxe, crowbar, and the torch. Balthazar drops them at your feet. And here, you say, take this letter and give it to my father in the morning. Now get out of here. Yes, sir, Balthazar says, and he turns to leave. Oh, you say, just one more thing. Balthazar freezes mid-step and slowly turns. You lock eyes with him and speak as intensely as you can. If thou, jealous, dost return to pry in what I farther shall intend to do, you say. By heaven, I will tear thee joint by joint, and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs. The time and my intents are savage, wild, more fierce, and more inexorable far than empty tigers or the roaring sea. Now get out of here. Yes, sir, Balthazar says, and he turns to leave. Oh, you say, just one more other thing. Balthazar again freezes mid-step. After a moment, he sighs and turns around. What now? He says. You break into a smile. Here, have some money, you say, pressing ducats into his hand. Be good, Balthazar. Live long and prosper. Peace and long life, Balthazar replies, and leaves. You pick up your supplies and drop them outside the crypt entrance. All right, you say, brushing off your hands. Now to that womb of death, gorged in with the dearest morsel of the earth. You begin to pry open the lock on the crypt. Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague, someone shouts from behind you. Huh? You say, turning around. What? It's Mercutio's cousin, Tom Paris. You've never really met the guy, but you've seen him around. Bad news is, he's armed with a sword, and it looks like he wants to stab you to death with it. Attack Tom with your sword. 387. 387. Here we go.
Condemned villain, Paris says. I've caught you. Come with me or die. He does make a good point, Romeo. You were banned from Verona. Look, Tom, don't mess with me, okay? You say. I'm a desperate man, and you're making me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. I don't like you now, Tom says. Come on, get out of here, you shout. I don't want to have to kill anyone else, okay? And yes, that implies that I have killed before, and am willing to do it again. To myself, actually. But also to you if you don't get out of here. I'm putting you under citizen's arrest, he says. You're provoking me? You're seriously going to provoke me? You say. You draw your sword. All right, then. Have it thee, boy, you say, acting like you didn't already decide to sword fight him a while back. Paris walks up to you, wildly swinging his sword in the air like he's trying to swat a fly. You stab Paris right in the guts on your first try, and when you do, you're pretty sure you hear a gasp come from the bushes nearby. Oh, I am slain, Tom says. Listen, do me a favor. Open the tomb and put me next to Juliet, okay? I was gonna open it anyway, you hiss. Then louder, for the benefit of anyone listening in, you say, Okay, so let me peruse this face, because I never actually saw the face of the man I was literally just talking to before he died on my sword, which, I stress, was by accident. Oh wow, this is Mercutio's kinsman, noble Tom Paris. What bad luck that he fell on my sword just now. He's neither a Capulet nor a Montague, so I have no motive to kill him, which is great, because this was an accident, and not a murder anyway. In any case, I'd better bury him in a magnificent grave right away. You smash the lock open and proceed down the tomb stairs, dragging Paris's body behind you. Enter tomb 425.
All right. You leave Paris's body in a dark corner. There, you say. You're interred. You turn around to see Juliet in her tomb, lying peacefully. It's crazy. She looks the same as she did when you saw her 2 days ago. She looks like she's just sleeping, but you put your hand on her neck, and there's no pulse. She's dead, Romeo. Kill yourself so you can be together forever. 414. I'll read this one.
Yeah, it's also short.
You decide to kill yourself. Lucky for you, you've got just the thing in a bottle in your pocket, huh? But before you drink your poison, you figure you'll do some talking. How fancy you want these talking words to be? I'm about to die. Ultimate fancy.
Oh, no.
451.
Oh, fuck.
All
right. Fuck.
Here you go. Enjoy that.
Okay, here we go. You ready? You ready to be my support? The wind beneath my wings?
Yeah, I'll be the wind beneath your wings.
I'll let you finish your drink of Coke first. You kneel in front of Juliet's coffin and looking up, raise one hand out in front of you. Here's what you shout to the heavens. Oh, my love, my wife, death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. You shuffle around on your knees to look at Tybalt's body. Arms still raised, you monologue.
Dang.
Tybalt, liest thou there in thy bloody sheet? Oh, what more favour can I do thee, than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain, to sunder his that was thine enemy? Forgive me, cousin. You shuffle back to Juliet. Ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here I will remain with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. You look at her. Arms, take your last embrace. You hug her. And lips, oh, you doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Finally, you kiss your dead wife. Her lips are actually warm still. Weird, right? When you're done kissing her, you take your poison and place it in your still upraised hand. God damn it. Here's what you say.
You don't get to lower it yet, motherfucker.
Come bitter conduct, come unsavory guide, thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks thy seasick wary bark. Here's to my love. You take a long swig of your poison, making sure to drink it all, leaving not even one friendly drop behind. You instantly begin to feel unwell. The bottle falls from your hand, and you no longer have the strength to keep your hand raised in front of you. Ah, dang, y'all, these friggin' drugs work really friggin' fast. Dang, you say, and then you die. Come on, Romeo. After all those beautiful last words I gave you, that's what you go out on? Jeez. Your final score is -1,000 out of 1,000, because I seriously can't believe you went out on, aw dang, y'all, after I wrote pages of freeform poetry for you. Ridiculous. Ridiculous! Look, you're dead, so I can't keep you around much longer, but if anyone asks, say you went out on, thus with a kiss I die, okay? Because that's what I'm gonna be telling everyone. It's at least marginally less embarrassing for us both. I honestly can't believe you, Romeo. Get the heck out of my face. Accept death, or wait, let me be Juliet. I promise I'll do better. 461.
All right. You'd better do better. I can tell you that much right now. All right, one last chance. Hey, guess what? Juliet was alive this whole time and you killed yourself for no reason. Twist! You are now Juliet. Your eyes flutter open. You find yourself staring at the ceiling of the Capulet crypt. Before you can react, the friar pokes his head into your field of vision. Oh, hey, friar, you say. Well, I remember very well where I should be and where I am. Where's Romeo? A greater power than we can contradict hath thwarted our intents, he says. What? You say, huh? But instead of answering, he's pulling you out of your coffin. Come on, he says. We need to get out of here. You resist, and he grabs your head and forces it to look around the room. Look, your husband lies dead over there, he says, pointing to Romeo, who is lying crumpled on the ground with a bottle in his hand.
Family Guy death pose.
Paris lies dead over there. He points to Tom Paris, whose body is stuffed into a dark corner for some reason.
Also Family Guy death pose.
And we're gonna go run out of there, he says, pointing up the stairs leading out of the crypt. You stare at the body of your husband, motionless. The floor seems to tilt beneath you. He's dead? Romeo? Come on, Friar Lawrence shouts. People are coming. I'll get thee to a nunnery, okay? There's no time for questions. Just follow me. You don't take your eyes off your husband. You stare at him. You feel something inside you harden, and something else breaks. I'm not going anywhere, you say. Friar Lawrence looks at you for a moment, then turns and runs out of the crypt. You kneel beside Romeo and take the glass out of his hand. What's this? What's here? You say. A cup closed in my true love's hand? You take the bottle from him. Poison, I see. Hath been his timeless end, you whisper. You hold the bottle up, trying to drink from it too, tapping the bottom. There's nothing left. You begin to laugh maniacally. Oh, churl, you say. Drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after? You laugh again, stopping only as you throw the bottle into the wall with all your strength. It shatters, the sound echoing. You stare at the pieces for a long moment. I will kiss thy lips, you whisper. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them, and make me to make me die with a restorative. And you do. Nothing happens. Thy lips are warm, you whisper. You hear someone shouting outside the crypt. Someone's coming. Then I'll be brief, you declare, grabbing your bedroom dagger from your belt and thanking yourself for specifying in your will that you wanted to be buried with a knife. You hold the knife to the front of your belly. Oh, happy dagger, you say, this is thy sheath. You're about to drive the blade in when you realize a stab wound to your belly isn't guaranteed to kill you. You don't want to mess this up, so you move the blade somewhere where you can feel your heart racing. This is thy sheath, you begin, holding the blade to your chest. But again you stop. The heartbeat comes from the left side of your body, but your hearts are actually central, right? You think you remember hearing something about that. You wouldn't want your sternum to be in the way of your blade there. You don't want to chance it. Instead, you hold the blade up to your eye with one hand, angle it upwards, bringing the palm of your other hand behind it. This is thy sheath, you hiss. There, rust and let me die. And with all your strength, you shove the blade through your eye and deep into your skull. The end. Okay, wow. Seriously, holy crap, that was amazing. I got chills. That was basically 1,000 times better than what Romeo did. And since your death was so awesome, I'll cheat a little and let you know what happens next. Here we go. Alright, so you die instantly. Again, amazing, awesome work there. And your body is discovered by the watchman you heard earlier. He captures the friar and calls the cops, and the cops call your parents, and before long, your and Romeo's parents are all gathered in front of your bodies. The friar tells them everything and explains that he wasn't able to get the message to Romeo in time, so Romeo thought you really were dead and killed himself in grief. A letter to Romeo confirms the friar's word. A letter Romeo wrote confirms the friar's words. Your parents and Romeo's parents look at each other, suddenly very aware that this tragedy could have been avoided if only both of their children weren't too scared of their own parents to share with them the fact that they'd fallen in love. For the first time, your father takes Romeo's father's hand and holds it tightly. We should stop fighting, Romeo's dad says. Yes, your dad replies. Incidentally, my wife died of grief earlier, Romeo's dad says, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to make a statue of Juliet out of pure gold, and I do hereby declare that as long as this city is called Verona, there will be no figure praised more than this solid gold statue of Juliet. And I, your dad says in turn, will make a solid gold statue of Romeo to stand beside her. Well, that's settled then, says the police officer, and they all begin to leave. And I know, a solid gold statue is the most impractical and ridiculous monument to a dead child ever in time. Look, they just found out you died. I'm sure in a few days, they'll face the logistics of this and change it to stone or a metal that isn't insanely precious and also very malleable and easy to steal. The police chief is the last to leave the crypt, and he pauses at the top of the stairs. He turns around and looks down at the bodies below, at you, at Romeo, at Paris, and at Tybalt. For there was never a story of more woe, he whispers, than this of Juliet and her Romeo. Man, he's probably still impressed with how you stabbed yourself. I know I am. And he takes one last look at your bodies before closing the crypt behind him. The end for real this time. Congratulations! You have killed yourself really well and also unlocked this book's secret character. To play as her, restart the book, and instead of choosing to play as Romeo or Juliet, take the numbers you're supposed to turn for each, subtract the smallest from the largest, multiply by 10, and add 41. Turn to that number instead, and you'll be able to play as this new character. And that's
the end.
Romeo and or Juliet, the canon run.
Yeah, I kind of want to see who the mystery character is, though. So let's...
Okay, one sec. Do you remember?
I remember the steps.
The steps. Okay, so let me just go to... Let me open it up. Let me go to character select screen. Let's see. Okay, so... 3 is, and then 36. Okay. So it's, so 24 minus 4, or 27 minus 4 is 23.
23 times 10 is 230, plus 41 is 271.
271, okay.
We're not going to actually play it, I just want to see who it is.
Ooh. You want me to read it?
You just read a bunch.
I'll read it.
I want to.
I don't mind.
I want to.
Fine, whatever.
I did math. Congratulations, you have unlocked a new character, and unlike Romeo and or Juliet, she's not a teenager. She is an adult human, and as such, she is less interested in self-destructive love and more interested in finding sustainable long-term happiness and satisfaction, preferably on her own terms. And the way she does that is by solving mysteries. That's right, you're a private investigator, and you are hecka self-narrating. Oh man, sweet, investigate all crimes. Okay, so we're an OC. Basically. We're Roseline.
Oh, nice. Okay. But yeah.
Okay, so we can play as Roseline next year. Okay. Well, I hope everyone had fun. I'm sorry that this got cut off from the original stream. Our internet disconnected and Streamlabs tried really, really hard to reconnect, so I thought that it managed to get everything on the replay, but I guess not. But now we have all of it, so yeah, sorry it had to be split up across 2 different videos, but now you have the complete Romeo and or Juliet vanilla experience. We'll see next year playing as Roseline. What is your favorite scene from Romeo and Juliet? Leave a comment below to let me know, and keep growing